Yes, we might just need an arc. It is going to rain a ton. We have a high risk of flash flooding in parts of the area, moderate risk everywhere else. So it's very wet going, or it's going to be very wet, and it's already kind of wet. So here's what we look at, or here's what we're looking like right now. Come on, Nick, get it together. And why is that not moving? Just waiting to see a car come by. Okay, I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to keep the stream going. I'm just going to hit play here, see if that works. Well, I guess there they are. They're moving. I knew they would. Okay, that's what it looks like now. Looks pretty nice, huh? Well, that's not going to last. Here's what we're looking at on radar. You can see there's some rain out in Texas, new little elements forming south of Houston. And this is what we see a lot of times. That upper level system brings the storms in from the west. That moisture joins up from the south. And it all comes together right over central Louisiana. At least that's the way it seems here over the last little while. And we do have these storms that are going to move toward the east. And then the question is, where do these set up? Where do we see the training activity where we really get the heaviest rain? And I think we have a decent idea on that, though there are still some model disagreements. So we will get into that. I'm going to actually show you a couple of models. We are in for the long haul here. Rainfall is the big story. Temperatures generally in the 70s. Dew points are going to come up today. And then the clouds really enter into the forecast by about 4 o'clock. And then the rain comes in. It's going to come in buckets. It looks like it's going to last for a while as well. Temperatures, again, secondary to whatever we are looking at today, but we're going to get up in the mid-80s, I think, so about 85, 86 here in Alexandria, as we'll have some sun out ahead of this system, and then temperatures tonight fall into the mid to upper 60s as heavy rain falls across the area. Now we get into the meat of things. First model, HRRR. This is one of my go-tos to just kind of get an idea on rainfall pattern. Now, it moves around. We see that heavier axis moves, but this gives me an idea of your general totals, and then it also gives me an idea of where that heaviest thing or where that heaviest batch of showers and storms is going to line up. And so let's go through this here step by step. You can see this one. This kind of looks like what we saw a few days ago with the big supercells down here toward I-10, Lake Charles, Lafayette, maybe scraping our southern parishes, but with that heavy solid rain up to the north. Now, again, one idea here. So you can see heavy rain continuing, 8 o'clock. Any plans this evening, they are out. No ball games tonight or anything like that. Then overnight, I think we see that some sort of severe activity going down I-10 or perhaps a little further north, and we get more storms developing behind that. Now, if these are a little more pronounced, then that's going to even increase the flooding threat a bit more. Now, into tomorrow morning, it looks like we get a bit of a lull. And tomorrow afternoon is actually a pretty big question because I think we're going to see storms in part of the area. You can see up here toward Natchitoches, Shreveport, Monroe, things are looking pretty good. I know there are a lot of graduations, and I cannot give you a definitive answer, though I am leaning toward it being pretty nasty. And the further east and south you are, the worse it looks. So that's what we're looking at on this model. We're going to jump into the Barron model. This is a different look. This is the system that I work with here. This is their own in-house model they run, and it's also good in its own right. So we're going to see a different idea as to what could happen here. Now, in this one, those thunderstorms are staying up a little further north. So 8 o'clock this evening, heavy thunderstorms, I-10 looking pretty dry. Now, again, I'm going to forecast. I'm not just showing you models, so we'll talk about all that in a second. Overnight, that stretches out. We get the rain to continue, 3 a.m., and then by tomorrow morning, things are pretty dry. But again, what we're seeing on both of these is, to some degree, some rain in the area for tomorrow night. So again, I wish I could give you a definitive answer on outdoor graduations. I lean toward this not being good and us seeing some rain, even possibly lingering into early Saturday morning. So that all comes together. We put it all together in the magic weather machine, and you see the flood risk here across Louisiana. Moderate risk, slight risk, marginal, but then this purple area here, that is your high risk for flash flooding. That means a 70% chance that we reach above flash flood guidance. So that just means basically it's almost a lock to see flooding conditions here. In Toledo Bend country towards Sam Rayburn, all the lakes here, Piney Woods area, that's where the worst of this, that's where most of the models, I showed you those two ideas. If we take the hundreds that come in over the last couple of days, literally every hour we get new runs of some of these, and we put the most likely area as to who is going to see the heaviest rain and who has seen the heaviest rain, because this also takes into account how wet the soil is. So very wet out here. They've seen in some cases 600% of what they should see in the last 2 weeks. So tons of rain has fallen. Maryland. This and it looks like this is going to be the area where we have the most likely chance for the flooding issues. And then, again, very heavy rain everywhere, but that's our kind of hot spot for problems. Now, speaking of a hot spot for problems, we've got severe weather. Let me get that cursor out. Level 3 of 5 was introduced. This is the enhanced risk. This is mainly driven by wind. I'll break this down for you in just a second. But the severe outlook showing that we do have a risk area-wide for severe storms. I do think the southern half of the area has a better chance. Again, that Barron model that I showed you kept most of those heavier thunderstorms a little further north. I do think this is mainly, I think the worst of this is going to be in this enhanced risk and then in that southern half of the area. So here's how the threats kind of break down for you. Tornado threat, 2 to 5%. Now, this is the chance that you will have a tornado within 25 miles of your house. So if you're in Leesville, you have a 5% chance of a tornado happening within 25 miles. Now, this is not a perfect science, of course, but that shows you that the threat for tornadoes, it's pretty low. It's not non-existent, so it is something we're going to keep a very close watch on. The wind, this is a wind-driven enhanced risk, so that's why we see it, 30% risk of damaging wind within 25 miles of a point. And then hail, looks like that's going to be a bit of a secondary or third-dairy, if it's not a word, 5% risk of hail. So I do think we could see some hail in the area, but that's going to be down the list on things that we're looking out for. And then your severe outlook for tomorrow shows that slight risk. Again, like I said, I think to the northwest we may clear things out. So Shreveport and Natchitoches, you're looking better for any sort of big graduation celebration outside in the evening. As you get toward Alexandria, much more questionable down toward Baton Rouge and Lafayette and our southern area, Bunkie, Opelousas, you are going to see the highest threat for rainfall tomorrow. So I think we get a really big wave late this afternoon through tonight, and then tomorrow we get a bit of a break, and then at least part of the area sees more of this tomorrow. And here's your rainfall outlook through Wednesday, and this is all pretty much going to fall through Saturday. We have a widespread 3 to 6 inches right through the heart of the state. Maximum totals, they're out of control, but it's not like one of those deals where I think someone's going to see 20 inches of rain, but if we see 10 on top of the craziness we've already seen, we're already over a foot ahead of where we should be here in Alexandria this time of year. So I kind of compared that yesterday. I was talking a little bit about that compared to last year. We were 4 inches ahead, but then the rain as of May 15th last year cut off. It just quit. So now we are much ahead of that pace, and it doesn't look like we get that hard edge where it just quits raining altogether, although I think we can handle that for a couple of weeks. And again, I promised you some good news, and I do have that. Here is your 7-day forecast. Heavy rain, obviously. I've been yapping about it for like 2 hours here. Thursday and Friday, so that's mainly going to be this afternoon, and then overnight, I think late afternoon. When I say afternoon, I'm talking like after 5 or 6. Overnight tonight, it's a washout, and then tomorrow we get a break early. I think we get more storms to pop later, but not one of those deals where I can say 100%. I think some of us could avoid the rain, especially further west and north, and then a chance for some morning showers on Saturday. Then your good news. You talk about drying out. Louisiana does it the right way. Low 90s, maybe some mid 90s. Sunshine. We're going to dry things out quickly, and you know how it goes. Soon enough, we'll be begging for rain, right? Yeah, maybe I'm a little optimistic there. And I'll answer your questions in just a second. I saw some popping in there. Your precip outlook, we're near or below normal from May 22nd really through May 30th. If we take this out to the larger, more extended view, it continues. I don't see a ton of crazy rainfall in our forecast after this one, but we do have to get through this. And then temperature outlook, it's above normal. So not only is it dry, it's going to be hot. So that is going to help dry things out. I say that for agricultural purposes. I know a lot of people depending on this getting out of here quickly. And after we get through, I think Friday afternoon and evening, we are going to get this out of here, and we are going to see some very warm temperatures return to the area and dry things out. Okay, let me just pop up radar behind me so I don't have that random thing. Okay. And I'll just put this in motion while I go through and look and see if we have any questions. Oh, yes, 90s, finally. You're excited? Thanks, Donna. Oh, cool. You get like a special little subscriber badge or something. I watch YouTube a lot, and I see stuff like that, and I'm like, that's kind of cool, like when you see those things, and to see it on my own page. Cool, somebody subscribed for 26 months. I'm going to get some great naps today, yes. But time frame for the worst, I would say that's going to be tonight from about 7 until midnight. Then after that, we have to see how the atmosphere gets modulated by all these crazy storms that are going to be in the area. I think that's going to shove things a bit further south. We're going to have to see how it all goes, but I think the first half of the night's going to be the worst. Then we'll have some scattered storms after that, and there's going to be that severe threat for the whole night. So I'm going to take me a nap today because I'm going to be up tonight. Yes, we have 90s coming. Next cold front, that should be sometime late October. I don't know. I would love to get another cold front in here if it just didn't give us all this crazy rainfall. But yeah, you see the rain forming out here in Texas. Got some strong storms out there. Already a flood warning west of Dallas, Fort Worth. And then those elements forming down to the south as well. This is all going to join up, move overhead, and bring us tons of problems. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. I'm waiting on still some high-res stuff to come in for the morning. I have a lot of models I like to get in before I really dig into the text version of the forecast, but I will do that earlier today. In fact, I'll probably do that around lunchtime, and I'll get that out there. I already have that one little brief thing from this morning, but I'll get more because I know some people they like to read rather than to watch all this yammering on. Speaking of yammering on, I think I'm done. I will see you back here later this evening, and we will keep you ahead of this. And just, if you live in an area that's flood prone, this is about as high a chance you get to have some flooding issues with all this rain falling on top of what we've seen recently. And then you throw the severe weather in as well. I have no good news for now, but after this, we do have that good news that we talked about. So let's end it on a high note, as it looks like things improve greatly for next week. I'll see you later this evening.